How you doing, people? It's the Shotgun the Orcs podcast with myself, Rez1, and DJ Rogue. Shouts to Tom every time and everyone at Shotgun the Orcs, obviously. This is the Brick Sofa Takeover. So we're doing a podcast from the seats of people that usually do a podcast getting interviewed by another podcast. Yes, we say
it's all getting very meta.
Yeah,
it's all getting very meta, man. I rate that. Thank you for such a sick introduction, man. But
well, now props to you, man, because you've been like the most consistent. Because there's not really that many. Killer Keller's got a thing. He's got a podcast. Yeah. There's a few little podcasts. You know what I mean? Ramesh has got his thing and stuff. But as far as people that get a lot of the underground scene on and stuff, and a lot of different artists that people necessarily haven't heard of and things like that. You've been so consistent, man. So honestly, props to you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Props for keeping it going through this shit as well, because it's hard work, man. So hats off. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's just as I was saying before, it's just escapism, innit? It's just staying occupied, staying sane, and keeping myself busy through all the madness. So no, man, I really appreciate that. But how are you boys doing? Obviously, Rez, this is the second time we featured on the podcast since over a year ago. We were in '84, and a lot has changed since then. But introducing DJ Rogue, man.
Yeah, man.
And for anyone listening who doesn't know, if you're tuning in, you're probably a fan of UK hip hop anyway. But DJ Rogue is known for his sick cuts and the choruses, and has worked with a multitude of people, including Guilty Simpson, Camp Low, Jeru the Damager, Elder Sensei, and more. Yeah. And speaking of which, man, I watched your Green Brick episode where you interviewed the Artifact solo.
Yeah,
Big up for that, man.
Bro, I'm shitting myself the whole time, but yeah. That was only the third or fourth one we did, isn't it?
Yeah, and hats off to him. I don't want to answer for you, but hats off to you for that, because I pulled out at the last minute, man. I was it was a lot of things on top, family shit, and I pulled out at the very last minute.
Yeah.
And you fucking held it down, man.
Yeah,
a real good interview.
It was either that or don't do it. So I just went down with a mild panic attack, did it, and then I had another one and went home. But it was all right.
Were they doing a show in Bristol then?
Yeah, they were playing that night. So hence the fucking noise in the background. That was in the backstage room of Attic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. Obviously,
big up to them, man. They were safe as fuck as well. They were proper safe,
And I've noticed, your podcast has had some crazy guests on in such a short space of time, like the fucking Pancho one from Dirty Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
I had to double take. I was just so do you know him through kind of the skate scene?
Yeah. So I know Pancho through skating and partying and things like that.
And just being in Bristol as well, isn't it?
He's always in Bristol. And we've got mutual friends and stuff like that. But with that episode, I'm so gutted, man, because the sound was fucked.
Yeah.
Our sound recorder basically messed up at the beginning, excuse me, and we ended up getting a fair play to Ty and yourself, because these guys managed to sort out the sound to get it to a level where you could actually hear shit. And before that it was
diabolical.
It was diabolical, and it was gutting, man, because I know that it shone a bit of a bad light on what could have been promoted. Everyone could have got behind it. I feel like certain people didn't necessarily get behind it because they didn't want to push something that was a bad product, which is fucking fair enough. I'd feel if I recorded a track with someone and the sound was fucked, I'd be Bro, I don't really want to push it. You know?
Story of my life, man. Story of this fucking podcast, you know what I mean? But I think the DIY kind of approach is I think people are a little bit more forgiving of it at the moment, at least. You know what I mean? We had the kind of proper setup like you guys did with the microphones and everything else, but now all our equipment's interspersed, and we're just running on kind of a real unsophisticated setup. But people still rate it. Do you know what I mean? It's
and you're still running.
Exactly, that's the thing, man. That's what
consistency is fucking key with this game, man. It's that's why I feel so burnt that because of the move, we just had nowhere to do it, and it was just but consistency and the fact that you've you know what I mean, made this happen and made it happen with the Skype calls and stuff is great, man. It's fucking sick.
But
it's essential.
Yeah, exactly, man. Essential worker, but I don't get paid. I don't get paid for this shit. Speaking of which, man, but I've got to shout my wife out because she's been working at the hospital every day throughout this whole thing. So it's it's given some normality to the situation. Do you know what I mean? A bit of a sense of structure. because otherwise, well, it's fucking crazy.
It is.
Yeah, we were pretty unlucky with it, wasn't it? Because basically, Rez moved house, and then lockdown hit and Corona and all that stuff. Like literally the same week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we
literally
moved out during the whole thing. So it was like, fuck, we were gonna move place, and then that hit as well. So that kind of left us fucked in it, really.
Yeah, it's a hard. I mean, moving house as well. Not to divert too hard, but with the moving house, like I had to do up the place that I was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of work there, and do a load of work on the new place. And the whole time I had to move 8 years worth of living in this 84 in a Fiesta. So I was like, across Bristol, like 3-4 trips a day sometimes, shifting stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, hopefully we'll get back to it, but because we're gonna have you guys back on again. Like,
I know, man. To be fair, like, because Aidan, he's going through that at the moment. He's like moving, and he's like just really preoccupied with stuff. He still like edits and does bits for this, but he's just, it's just life, innit? It's priorities, and to be fair to you guys, I mean, you make music as well. It's not like you're just doing a podcast. So
yeah,
this is kind of all I'm just devoting all my energy to this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you're kind of devoting your energy to a lot of different things. So if something falls by the wayside in the meantime, it's not a big disaster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've recently released a new joint together, and I've got to say, man, like the kind of voice modulator. Do you use a voice modulator in that track?
Yeah, it's got a lot of effects on it. Yeah.
On the kind of like Quasimodo type vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had that fucking refrain in my head for so long after listening to it. I used to play out in
It's a catchy motherfucker, man. Like the funny thing with that track is like we recorded that, we had no intention of putting the 4-bar kind of cut, so it's almost like a conversation, like the pitch up, the pitch down, or whatever. And at the end we were both just sat listening to it, and we were like, right, like maybe try this. Do you know what I mean? Something that we've kind of got
about, innit? I auto-tuned it down.
Yeah, that was it, innit?
Kind of like, and then it was like, it sounded sick, so I took that off it. We did the better one.
Yeah.
And then you were like, do it every 8 bars.
Every 4, yeah.
Every 4 bars, sorry. And then it was almost like an imaginary quarantine friend.
Yeah, that's kind of how we were playing it. We're like, it's my imaginary friend. I'm chatting to my boy, like.
Oh, right, that man. Yeah, because you got distinguish
man.
between voices, like a kind of a conversation between two people.
Yeah.
I thought that was what it was trying to convey, but that was sick.
It's not too different that it is like we're trying to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like we pitched it so far that it's actually like, all right, that's a completely different person. Because some people have hit me up and been like, what, like, nah, well, even Bill, like a couple of people I've spoken to, like, didn't even notice it. Do you know what I'm saying? They didn't really notice the pitch change that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair play to him. Shout out Press One. Press One messaged me and thought the other one was up front. He thought the higher voice was actually up front from Split Profits.
No way, man. It's mad. But so at the window, so I mean, like, is that kind of style indicative of what you guys have in the pipeline, or is that just a standalone isolated single, or what's wider project, or what?
We've got more to come as singles, definitely, but
it's
more just us two as the intro in it together, really. It just kind of built itself, that's all.
Yeah, it's more like we just wanted to make music. We had like I had the night off or whatever, or the day off from dab work and stuff like that, and it was like, right, this is my music day. So we've had a couple of those, and every time we have a day in the studio, we make something, and it isn't really planned for anything. And at the moment, I feel it's not really like we've been sat on music, like at Green Brick Records anyway. Like there's a few projects that have been ready for a while. Like Joe Burns got a project ready. Me and Matt Lloyd have got a project ready. There's other things in the pipeline, singles and stuff. But you know what I mean? With the whole climate of everything, it was not really the right time. So with things like singles, like At the Window, it's mainly called At the Window because the second verse, or the first verse, shit, I don't even know if it's the first verse or the second verse now. But I'm like at the windows in my sliders with my knee coil, deciphering the scene still, because I'm kind of talking about just being at the window in quarantine. And in my new place, there's a window where my baby's always stood up at the window, like banging on the window and shit. And like, it was more like the name kind of came from just being kind of stuck in and being at the window and wanting to be out. But the track was just a track. There was no real we didn't like plan it or anything, but
yeah.
But that's a good thing about like freestyling shit and having a space like the studio, like we're talking about, that we recently built, is that you can fuck with shit. Do you know what I mean? And I'm at a stage now musically where like I want to be trying different techniques. I want to try and I'm gonna try sing here a little bit and then pitch it, or I'm gonna try do this, or let's try and flip the beat like that so we can do a breakdown. And rather than it being such a like 16 chorus cuts or whatever, like I really want to try and just try different shit.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Shit, man.
And it couldn't be any more different to like Flow Cold that came out like a couple of months before that. Kind of the start of lockdown. It was kind of the start of lockdown, I guess.
Yeah, it was. It
like
was. Real... We filmed that in where the fuck was it? I don't want to say Barbican, but we filmed it in like a real like crazy busy part of London, like real posh busy business sector or whatever. Right in the city of London. Yeah, and we were there and London was dead. And this was before lockdown, so it was just before lockdown. But it was weird, bro. Like, weird.
It's because, you know, like, they were always a few steps ahead of us. Like, my mate came down, when we recorded the Parky episode here, he came around my flat. My boy Tom came around to help me record because Aidan was out doing something. And Tom lives in London, and he was just like, look, you need to start taking this thing seriously. It's coming. It's happening. In London, like, everyone on the tubes, like, real paranoid. Everyone's kind of bracing themselves for it. And I was just to be fair, I was real kind of dismissive of it at the time. I was just like, nah, what the fuck you on about? Do you know what I mean? And then within, like, literally a fortnight, it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm like a fucking heartbeat with this shit on a graph. Like, at the beginning, I was like, boom, like 100%. We've got to be like up here, like washing your hands, everything, like religious, masked up, everything, like gloved up, the whole lot. Yeah. And then I found out more information, and it drops, and then it's like and then it bounces back up again because of some. And the whole thing I found so fucking, the hypocrisy and the bullshit that's come with it. And not only that, like people that love each other, that are good friends, that are
falling out over this stuff,
falling out over it. And it's like, because we've been fed so many different narratives, there's no one fixed thing that we can all agree on. And I feel like it's playing into exactly what they want, because people that would never argue up to this point,
divisive,
never argue up to this point. They agree on everything. And then happens, and I don't know.
It's kind of like, it's compounded just by everything else happening in the world at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And also it's kind of, if you have new information, you react accordingly, because it's just, if it's based on science. And I feel like the age we live in at the moment, everyone has a voice and everyone has an opinion, but not everyone knows the facts. And people are so vocal about and quick to speak about what they don't know. And it's just like, just be considered, take in the information from trusted sources and be like, you know what, that's new information I didn't know. I'm going to kind of invest in learning more about that because I trust that source, and I'm going to act accordingly. Don't act with... People are very emotive, and I'm guilty of that as well. Do you know what I mean? We're human beings. Do you know what I mean? People react to things. People are outraged, and it's normal. Do you know what I mean? But it has been. You're right. There's like phases to this shit with lockdown. Like, first, remember, it was like toilet roll was in the fucking zeitgeist. Then it was like coronavirus bars were in the fucking zeitgeist. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's just like
now the lockdown challenge and shit. And like, it's gone like
shit's happened, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of shit's happened, and like a lot of shit that, like, I don't know, I feel has become normalized. Like the amount of like opposition to each other, and everything has just become like hyper normalized. Everything's normal now. The fact that there's so much fake news, and even saying trusted sources, is hard to find.
Yeah, man.
Trusted sources, but you know that certain sources that are trusted lie. And I'm not saying that I'm fucking tinfoiled hat up or like nothing like that at all. And I don't, a lot of it, like sometimes we talk about it and I'm like, bro, in it until I see the evidence. I'm like,
there's so much information, isn't there? That makes it more confusing.
And until
it doesn't help either that people are naturally contrarian. You know, when you hear something, it's like you're married to your own opinion. You just go in all guns blazing, shoot from the hip, and you're just like not willing to listen to someone else's view. And I think a lot of people approach that kind of thing. It's very like reactive. It's not considered. It's reactive, and it's And
also, when they do, a lot of people, when they do find out new information that might disprove something they believed before, they actually don't want to admit they're wrong. So they're
Yeah,
just like,
man,
they hold
that's
the same
dangerous.
opinion. Yeah.
Also, their echo chamber tells them that they're right.
Yeah.
Because the narrative is so often fed by your bubble online, which will give you what you
How
search
feel,
for.
yeah.
Echo
Almost
chamber,
how
man.
you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you, like in Bristol, when the election was happening,
yeah,
I was like, people were turning to me and they're like, bro, like, there's no way in God's earth, yeah, that fucking Corbyn is going to win this. It's going to be a complete landslide. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's got the youth behind him. He's got this. He's got da. And because we live in this little Bristol bubble, or wherever the bubble is, depending on who you are and whatever, like, it's going to tell you almost what you want to hear.
Yeah, of course it is, man.
Yeah. So it's confusing times, man. Really confusing.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I think social media obviously can be used for good, sharing information, but also, as I said, when everyone has an opinion, and it's hard to sometimes distance yourself and kind of regulate the amount you take in every day. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I have to switch myself off. I'm just like, no, not today. And it's with obviously Black Lives Matter movement and everything else. And Bristol, my God, man, the scenes in Bristol with the statue being torn down and everything else is very fucking inspiring. But I remember when, people at the time being contrarian about that argument, and it's just like, what? That should be a fucking binary.
Yeah, but that's really split. That's really split in Bristol. Like, there's people come out of the fucking woodwork that, like, never in a million years you'd think this certain way. Like, it's crazy, man. The division, and the problem is with this situation, right? Is a lot of the people, I think, that are trying to say like all lives matter and all this fucking bullshit. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's beyond stupid. Yeah, I've explained the situation in so many different ways to people, but a lot of them, from an outside perspective, completely looking at it like non-emotionally, nothing else. You know what I mean? But they're just ignorant as fuck because they've been brought up poor. They've got nothing. So they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, my life matters as well. I'm poor. I've never and they can't see because they live in a predominantly white neighborhood.
And the word privilege triggers them because they haven't been privileged.
Yeah.
But
they don't understand
it. It doesn't mean that. It means you haven't been disprivileged because of the color of your skin. That's all it means.
Yeah. It's been great.
They take it as, well, I wasn't privileged. I was poor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So they're like, well, why doesn't it matter? It's like, you don't understand this.
It's
like
just
400
apathy,
years. Like,
it's apathy, man. That's what it boils down to. It's like, people who, are kind of vocal about it and on that kind of side of the argument for whatever reason. I don't know why your mind would go there first, but that's because I'm not racist, or do you know what I mean?
Or ignorant. You know what I mean? Or like,
there's only so much you can be ignorant to a certain point, but there's too much information available now. Do you know what I mean?
You're right.
I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. But
like I agree with you, man, 100%. I just also see people. Maybe it's because I see people that I've known for so long that like have never had that bone in their body, or you know what I mean. And then they're like, well, and it's like you just don't get it.
Yeah, they just
don't understand it, and it's like, but it's divided Bristol massively, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Obviously, the majority is like, fuck you. This is the best thing that could have happened, and not one part. There was no fights. There was no looting, no rioting, no nothing. Bristol held it the fuck down and dealt with something that should have been dealt with years ago when petitions were made and fucking over 11,000 people signed it. And
it was more than that, man.
It was more than that.
70-something.
Fuck knows how many. Do you know what I mean? But these things should have happened. And the police even let it happen.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to let this happen because there's no point in stopping it. It's going to cause a problem. You know what I mean? Props to the people that did it and the people that have put things in place since and stuff. You know
I can't even describe the feeling of when it came down, because I was there. I wasn't involved or anything like that, but I was around it when it came down. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
It's amazing, man.
I saw the rope going up in it. Yeah. I was like, nah, that's just like trying to do a symbol of the rope. And I didn't even know they were going to pull it down, and then all of a sudden it just started rocking.
Oh shit!
And I tell you what, the feeling when it came down, man, was fucking euphoric, like proper
imagine,
fucking
man.
Unity and all of that type of stuff, isn't it?
It's the best thing that could have happened. Like the way that march happened, and like not only that, that's the thing that people focused on. No one focused on the 8-minute silence at College Green. You know what I mean? Beforehand, where like lots of people got up and spoke on these matters and stuff, and everyone. Do you know what I mean? The whole centre of Bristol went quiet, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's
It's the media for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Do you know what I mean?
That.
That's the narrative. They just, they just kind of, convey a story in a way that's going to be as kind of provocative as possible. Do you know what I mean? And it's not, they ain't shine a light on all the good that's happening. But there you go, man. Do you know what I mean? It's fucked up. But I think it's just the main divisive thing is like the discourse between people. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's very tribal in terms of the arguments happening on social media. But I feel like as a human, on the right side of the argument, like anti-fucking racist, all you can do is your part is just like as much as you can. Do you know what I mean? It's just like if it's a conversation with someone, do you know that it doesn't have to be fucking changing the world, boiling oceans, because not everyone has the capacity to do that. No, not everyone is like a fucking Malcolm X, a fucking Martin Luther King. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone can make that impact. Yeah. But collectively, you can.
Yeah.
By having those. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I think at the end of this as well, like we're gonna get to that. I feel like as much as the media is really trying to portray the bad and the darkness in all of it, I genuinely feel at the end of this we're gonna come out into a way better world, because so much stuff has come to boiling point and so many things have been exposed and all this stuff is happening. I think it's gonna get really like troublesome and fucked up for a bit. But I genuinely feel like good is going to prevail, and I feel like it might be the first time in human history, not necessarily, I don't know, but maybe that because knowledge is so free and readily available, if that doesn't get shut off, it could be a change in the massive in consciousness, but also in the massive divide between rich and poor and white and black and all these different things, because it's all good. It's got to end sometime.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because things like you look at kind of history and like Russia, the guy before Putin, and you had like Barack Obama before fucking Trump. It's almost just like there was a glitch and it needs to kind of regulate itself again and needs to go back to normality. So it looked like things are kind of picking up in the free world, and now it's kind of like we've had a few years of madness. And it's reached a boiling point, like a tipping point. And hopefully you're right, man. Hopefully it comes out on the right side and it doesn't and things don't get worse. But I don't know. There are a lot of good people in this world as well.
I think there's more good people. There's way more good people. Yeah,
man.
There's way more good people than bad people. No, 100%. Because out of all the people that I know way more good people, like genuinely good-hearted people, than I know bad people. Yeah. I know bad people too. But even it's always the negative, you know what I mean? And it's pushed by the media. I've always said, like if you started from the base, so you started in school and you started with the media, and you changed the two like main focuses of those things from being like in school to just like be a fucking cog in the machine. Like all it teaches you. They're even teaching stuff in schools that isn't relevant, in biology and things have changed. It's like it's stuck to a certain curriculum. Change that and bring in like a positive, like news is positive, social media, all these different things. If you started from like what people are fed all the time, then you'll get a change in like over time. Do you know what I mean?
It's social engineering, man, that kind of stems from like the Industrial Revolution. Do you know what I mean? I mean that's why the curriculum's the way it is. Do you know what I mean?
It's Industrial Revolution curriculum, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of evokes like an orthodox kind of educational system, and it's just not. It hasn't aged well. Put it that way. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't work, does it? You've got a classroom full of kids. Each one of them has got their skill set.
Yeah.
And your job as a teacher should be to help them find it, not like tell them all the same thing, and the ones that ain't good at it are just shit. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the curriculum that drives that, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like the teacher can only do what they're kind of, what they're allowed to do. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's why I feel for teachers, man.
Yeah,
same, man.
Teachers, doctors, nurses. You know what I mean, the people that fucking, it's crazy. We've gone off on a fucking deep into the hole. Like.
This is what it's all about, man. I bet you've missed this.
Yeah. To be fair, man, like. It's nice as chatting. I was saying to Rogue before we got on the call that it's just been a lot of stuff going on in life, you know what I mean, and just not being able to really bounce like your brain off other people's fucking brains, you know what I mean, like actually break shit down for yourself. because until you speak to other people, you have your own thing going on. You know what I mean? And if you're only speaking to, say, your missus and like a couple of other people, like you get locked in your own brain. Not that they're not helping you, but like it's just such I don't know.
It's important to reach out to people. Do you know what I mean? Your fucking homeboys, just pick up the phone, give them a bell, check in on people, man. Do you know what I mean? Like one of my mates lives like on his own in Finland. Do you know what I mean? He's like an expat living over there, and it's just kind of like he does a podcast as well called The Others, and it's real niche. It's all about like Pharrell and like NERD and the Neptunes and stuff.
Oh yeah,
shit. What the whole podcast like?
Mate, it's crazy. He's just like always been obsessed with. He's got like a massive like billionaires boys club collection and like ice creams and all of that stuff. He's linked up with like one of the guys in like the band who played on like their first album. He's had like Shay Haley on his podcast. He's like met Pharrell and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's just kind of because he's on his own, he just keeps himself occupied with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just checking in on people, man. It's just like
definitely, man.
So music wise, like have you guys, besides kind of making music and stuff, 2020's fucking it's produced a lot of good shit. What have you been listening to recently?
I don't know. I listen to a lot. I don't know. I've not been listening for a while, to be fair. The last since lockdown really. Because I listen to a lot of music at work, I guess, when I listen to new artists and stuff like that. It's at work, and because I've been furloughed for ages, I've just been in the studio, so I've not been taking it a lot, really.
Yeah, man.
But, obviously I got Jay Electronica's new one. I was waiting, obviously, for that for ages. Don't know, man. It wasn't really all that for me. I love
I fucking love that album. I can't.
No, I love one
even
tune.
Explain why, but
There's one tune. The what's the tune called? Is it A Never Ending Story?
We're Alchemist beat, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fucking
and
amazing.
That's
what I wanted. That's what I wanted the whole thing to be like. But I don't know if it was because it made you wait so long.
See, that's kind of for me. It was with that album. It was like for me, it surprised me because I enjoyed it that much. I was just like, I shouldn't be. I was just like, I wasn't expecting to. I
already loved
him.
I loved him off before though. I loved him too much, and then when it came, it wasn't. Yeah, it was just that song for me, really. Never Ending Story. That was exactly like the whole thing it should have been. But and not to knock Jay-Z, but too much Jay-Z as well.
It's more of a joint album, wasn't it?
It was, and it was supposed to be not that. So yeah, I don't know.
There's have you heard of the band Krunbin? They're like they're sick. Check them out. They're like kind of psychedelic rock, but Jay Electronica uses one of their basically tracks as an instrumental on that album. It's the last track, you know, about like having numbers on your phone that you'll never ring again. Yeah, that instrumental. Yeah, check Krunbin are sick, man.
I don't know them.
Yeah, honestly, they're fucking amazing. Check it. But I really rated that album. I was wasn't expecting to. Did you hear it, Rez?
I haven't heard it. No, I've never really been a Jay Electronica fan, to be honest. It's not really like. To be fair, it's something that I probably like nowadays. I'm listening to anything and everything. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel a bit more open-minded to shit. Mm-hmm. But I'm still on my Cuban shit.
For Buena Vista Social Club, man. Yeah, you put me onto that.
I've been onto new shit though, man.
Yeah, you got the Cuban FM, innit?
Yeah. Like my fiance's parents basically got us a internet digital radio.
Yeah.
So I can just tune into like the Cuban station internet radio or whatever. It's fucking sick. So I've been listening to a lot of that. Boogie as well, to be fair. I've been listening to a lot of Boogie.
Yeah.
Griselda shit.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't keep up with those guys, man. Do you know what I mean?
I love it, man. It's fucking sick. I've loved I've been on their shit since I heard that track with Rock Mas, West Side Gun and Conway on the. Or is it just Conway on that? It might just be Conway. No, I can't remember. But from that day onwards, I was like, oh, fucking sick. There's like a new wave of like that cruddy, dirty, grimy, East Coast shit.
But it's really like decadent though, isn't it? When you listen to it, like the beats and always, oh man.
All of it's just like really like it's just like gunslinging, like do you know what I mean? I'm not from that world, but like the fucking music speaks to me. Do you know what I mean? I just like I'm just loving it, man. All the shit that's come from the Griselda camp.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's Pray for Paris this year, and there was Lulu as well, wasn't there?
Pray for Paris, but he's done Awesome God 2 or something as well.
That was more recent, wasn't it? That was more recent.
Yeah, new West Side Gun thing. And then Conway's done, Lulu. What's the one with Ghost? What's his name? The one with the skull and the bucket hat on the front.
I know what you mean, man, but I can't remember the name of it. That's the thing. They're just prolific. They release so much music, and even back, like, you know, a lot of their stuff was so hard to get because they released it on like various like hard copy formats for like super fans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just
they've caked off that, man. I'm pretty like that. I love the fact that that's still happening. I love seeing like El Camino and shit posting up photos, or Benny, or any of them, man. And it's like them in a house with bare fucking family or friends or whatever around, just packing up like stacks of vinyl or stacks of t-shirts or whatever. Like, don't worry, orders are coming. You know what I mean, they're real guys, man. That's the thing, is that, and I mean, I don't know, but from what I've seen, they seem respectful with the people that support them. And they will send your shit out. They make it special. You know what I mean? And the whole West Side Gun thing with the art and how he's like, it's. Yeah, I mean, West Side Gun's sick, man. Like, how he's just doing it to a million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people on 100. He's like, nah, I'm taking this fashion shit and this art shit to like the next level. Like the intro to Pray for Paris is that fucking the auction, and it's like, Mr. Francois, like, are you taking 400 million? 400 million? Mr. Francois, are you sure you're not in? Like, it's like, mate, you've actually got the sound recording of like the auction. I think it's the most expensive piece of art ever sold.
Fucking crazy, man.
Sure it's like 400 million. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's just kind of steezy, man. And
have you got a favourite out of the three?
Yeah, Conway.
I can't pick a favourite because, like, say Pray for Paris, that as a piece of like, as an album or as a EP or whatever the fuck you want to call it, musically, the way that runs is fucking sick. I just love the whole. It's not like, I'm not saying it's the best lyrics on certain tracks. Like the fact he's got like features where the feature will body him on the track if he wanted to go on lyrics, but it's not about that. He said he's not about that.
He's more like
about feeling, man. So with like West Side Gun's got that.
Yeah.
Then Conway's got this fucking crazy like next like mad lyrics. You know what I mean? Like on point punchlines, like fucking everything. And then you got Benny's
sick.
Who's like
Benny's
consistent, just like
it could go either way on a certain day.
But the way Benny and fucking Conway rap are like, Conway's more like laid back and like Benny's got that regimented flow that's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think as a package, man.
Did you see his tiny desktop from his house?
Oh yes, I was about to say that, man. Yeah, it was crazy.
It sounded like the fucking thing.
Yeah, it was sick.
It sounded like he was in the studio, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's like, I don't know. I just rate that like, and there's not so much picking like one anymore. I don't know whether it's something that's come with age or whatever. Like, I don't really.
You think it gels together? They're like kind of bigger than some of their. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
And just with anything though, with like different artists and shit, like I'm not so quick to be like, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bit more like, well, you know.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're trying to do this or maybe they're trying to do that, and instead of writing it off, I'll listen to see if there's something that is dope that inspires me within it or whatever. And if it doesn't, then whatever, it's cool. Like they're doing their thing though. I don't feel like I need to hate on it anymore.
Yeah.
You shouldn't like speak in absolutes. Do you know what I mean? You know, like you see a lot of things online. It's just like, who's better out of this and this, or like who's and compare it. It's like a straw man argument. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what album's better for fucking like, I don't know, Illmatic or Ready to Die or something like that. It's just like,
right.
It's a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying? It's subjective, and it's just kind of like it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. Like we did, you know, when the whole like top 50 rappers list came out, and it was like a bit like conspicuous, and like Joe Budden's name was thrown about a little bit, and so we thought, fuck it, we'll jump on that bandwagon for a laugh. So we recorded up at Skirmish's gaff in London, because we did the My Stiggy episode there as well. And we attempted our own, and it just like descended into chaos like instantly. It was it just isn't. It's not feasible, man. You can't do it. You can probably like, it can be probably interchangeable in your top 10. Do you know what I mean? You can probably move people around depending on your mood, but
I don't even know about a top 10, man, because like some days I'll be like, even say with like, if I was so fixed on something, even with Griselda, like maybe 6 years ago or something, or maybe, you know, 4 years or whatever, I'm saying shit. But I would have been like, nah, this one's the best. My man's the best. And that's just that. And then I'd stick with that until like,
that's your thing, isn't it?
now I'm just like, well, nah, because he might be the best to me tomorrow. It just depends on how I'm fucking feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I might not be feeling this day. And then next day I'm going to listen to some fucking back.
You don't want to put them in order anyway, because anyone that's going to make your list is like sick already, isn't it? So you don't you're not going to have any whack shit on your list.
Yeah.
So why categorize them?
Yeah, like, all right, on Sundays I feel like listening to this. You know?
Yeah, man. I think there are so many artists that could fill that spot, but like, I mean, like Black Thought is probably up there for me because I own like all the Roots albums. I'm like, I feel like he's historically hasn't got kind of the spotlight he's deserved because he's been in a group. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And now he's like, they're held ransom, they're held hostage by fucking Jimmy Fallon, so they never get the tour. So it's just like, fuck's sake. But I'm glad that he's actually releasing kind of solo material now. Did you see his video that just drops?
Yeah, he's done one. I haven't seen it. No, he's done one recently, isn't it?
Man, it's crazy. Visuals are insane. He's just
nuts,
levels,
man.
that guy.
Yeah, he's sick as fuck.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
He's
Both his parents were fucking murdered as well. Do you know what I mean? But he's so like he's not. He just kind of rides the line, doesn't he?
It's interesting you say that because have you heard the mixtape? The Roots mixtape.
Yeah.
It's
got like the Beatles shit on it, hasn't it?
Yeah. On that exact same track.
Yeah.
Don't but you want to be. That exact track is where he talks about his parents getting murdered, and he's like, parent from different homicide. One had died. I don't know where it is exactly, but I was listening to that on the way here. That exact track with the Beatles. Yeah. Literally, it's on my fucking. Be on my Spotify, like.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, he's mad underrated, man. Like
Sean Price is always on my list in the top five.
Sean Price, man. I mean, he's another one. He's kind of like, just. I love how he starts. He starts his bars with like a random word.
Yeah.
Kind of builds on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like a thugged out Doom, isn't it? Really, in that respect.
No way as intricate as Doom, but he's very self-aware.
But the way he starts on those weird, I know what you're saying.
He's self-aware, do you know what I mean? When he's just like, I rap about something and rap about nothing and make it sound like something. It's like he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, man. But I mean, like, I think, you know, we talk about like Griselda from a kind of UK perspective. You know, like the Fly Hooligans work with like West Side Gun. You listen to much of that guy's stuff?
No.
Yeah, the Fly Hooligan.
No.
Yeah,
I love his shit, bro.
He's amazing.
It's Parky's cousin, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's fucking sick, man. Like I've been into his shit for a while, man. Because he used to be part of Triple Darkness, right?
Yeah, he's Iron Braids. But, but Fuck Your Life, Praise Mine Too that came out last year, man. Oh, that fucking album. It's got like Planet Asia on it.
He's been like trying to like build out in the States as well, isn't it? I've been watching his moves out there, like fully putting in work. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
production wise though, when you talk about Griselda, that's kind of the closest thing I can kind of tie it to in the UK. Do you know what I mean? I listen to it and I'm like, oh, that's nice, man. That is fucking nice.
You heard any Crossbow T-shirt?
He's on your label, isn't he?
Yeah. But like the shit that he's got coming with Ill Informed, man. Like he dropped a single and a video. If I said it, go check it out, people. Crossbow T, the plug. But yeah, he's got some mad shit that's on that like crazy gutter, like slow beat, steezed out, real ill shit with Ill Informed, and that's another thing that it's sat on. You know, I want the world to hear it. So there's a lot of good shit coming from the UK as well. Like I'm not saying I haven't been listening to
tons, man. But I guess as an artist though, like, do you limit what you listen to from your peers because it might, I don't know, like subconsciously? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I
don't listen, like, in all honesty. Like I'll listen to the shit that I grew up listening to, like the K-Lash and the fucking Louis Slippers mixtapes and Task Force and shit. Like I'll pull that up, but I don't really listen to current UK hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Just because exactly what you said pretty much is like you don't really. Obviously, I listen to my brethrens like Slip Profits and Close Knit, but even then, it's not something that I'm going to always play, and I'm sure they feel the same way. They're not going to sit there and like put my album on, you know what I mean? Because it could either affect. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's quite a funny thing because we don't. In the States, they seem to do that more. Like they'll play each other's shit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
do you think it's a British, like, it's kind of British sensibility? I don't know. There must be something in that.
It must be, yeah.
I reckon, yeah.
I was just sitting and listen to my mates all the time. I want some music. Like, really,
Yeah,
I
man.
already know my man. You can come and spit for free. I'm
I'm not going to pay it. You can have a couple of red stripes.
Yeah, if I'm paying for my
Rogue, how about you, man? Do you listen to like UK stuff, or is it mainly just kind of stuff from the States?
Yeah, mostly, to be honest, man. When I'm listening to music, I'm either trying to listen to like production techniques or whatever, or just chilling. So I listen to a lot of like R&B. Smino, I listen to a lot of him. He's fucking sick. But yeah, not really. I listen to everything that comes out, like probably like the day it comes out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll play it and I'll listen to it and I'll see what it's about. If I like it, I'll listen to it again, obviously. But yeah, I don't know, man. Since lockdown, really, I've just been not listening to anything except my own stuff, which is kind of weird, isn't it?
It's good.
I've just been just trying to find my.
You're making enough though.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of beats. Yeah,
it's not weird, I guess, from that context.
It's more like tunnel vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess like did much change for you during lockdown? Because I speaking to producers and people who are kind of hermits anyway. They're always listening to music and creating.
I said that for the first maybe month. I was like,
couple months, man. You were like, I'm cool. I'm good, bro.
I'm built for this. I've already been doing this. I don't party anyway. But the thing I didn't expect was not being able to have all your mates around, didn't it? Because I stay in a lot and make beats and do all that stuff, but I'd have people around.
Mm-hmm.
So then after about maybe, it was about a month, maybe a month and a half, I was like, shit, man, I kind of miss people now. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's the worst part about it. But
it definitely didn't affect me as bad as some people I know. Do you know what I mean? I've been quite fortunate with it, just because of how it was anyway, innit? I've always, I stopped partying years ago, man. I'm like 41, innit? So done with partying.
Days are numbered, man. Nah, man. I ain't fucking around. I'm 32 and I feel old as shit. But you released the Love Spectrum beat tape recently.
Yeah.
That was sick, man. Really, really nice vibe. Have you got another one in the pipeline, or?
There's meant to be. I've got so much stuff at the moment. I need to categorize all of it. Do you know what I mean? I've got beats man. I've got like a stack of beats for Rez. I've got beats for other projects. I've got beats for Flo Sia. I just need to categorize stuff. At the moment, I'm going through like loads of beats, just hundreds of them that I've made, and going through the process of either dashing them or just like putting them to a folder for a project. So yeah, there will be another one though. Nice
one, man. And I mean, Green Brick. I mean, since we last spoke, Rez, it's kind of like the roster's kind of grown a bit, changed a bit. I know you mentioned you're sitting on some music, and everyone has their own kind of respective projects. But you've got any thoughts to release kind of a collaborative Green Brick release? You know, like I think that'd be pretty sick, man.
Yeah. Well, we were planning on doing. We did actually. Before Rogue was part of it, even before the podcast, I think we did like a 12-hour studio session. So I basically booked out 2 studios for 12 hours and got the whole of the roster. Excuse me, brother. Got the whole of the roster in to like record a load of shit. But just the way that kind of rolled wasn't that effective. Do you know what I mean? Like we've still got stuff from it and that, but like things have changed, the roster's changed, stuff's changed, so it's like kind of put that on the shelf.
We did the live stream as well, didn't it?
Yeah, we did the live stream, but also we were planning on doing like a mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
So like a classic beats. Do you know what I mean? Everyone either do tracks that we've already made that are like classics, or do fucking random bars or whatever, and then get Rogue to mix the whole thing. So it's like a classic mixtape, you know what I mean? Rather than cutting from track to track, it will cut into the next track. Because the thing with Green Brick, man, is it's like, even people on the label, like I was speaking to Joe today, and like he mentioned that it's something to do with drum and bass and like not sure whether Green Brick would like to promote it. And I'm like, bro, like Green Brick isn't a hip hop label. Do you know what I mean? It's not focused on hip hop. Obviously, it started from hip hop because that's where my roots are, you know what I mean? But like the idea for the label was never like, it's just going to be hip hop and that's it, you know what I mean? So we've got a real good variety of sounds, even with the roster that is now. You know what I mean? Even with, like, say, Springer, who hasn't even released a single on Green Brick yet, but if you go on the website, he's still on there. And he's still part of the team, and it's still family, because what he's sat on, and I know what he's got under his belt, is insane.
Yeah.
And it's different to anything that anyone's heard yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just in Bristol, but in the UK, like, do you know what I mean? And I feel the same way about Crossword T. I feel the same way about Joba, and I feel the same way about Matt Lloyd. I feel the same way about everyone. Rogue, like, you know what I mean? Me and Bad Habit, like, forever.
So it's kind of like a family feel to it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like working with people you respect and trust, and is that kind of like almost like a prerequisite for being on the label? Do you know what I mean? You got to know them. You got to know how to work with them.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like, I don't
take any risks with anyone.
Well, I think, you know what I mean. Like, I think I did take risks. I have taken risk. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, say with Lazy Eyes, it was a risk. You know what I mean? Like, we did the album and stuff, and then went our separate ways or whatever. But everything's a risk, really, unless it's complete. Like, even if something's dead certy, the person might not be the best person to work with or whatever. But with Green Brick, like, the connections have been over time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, with Matt Lloyd, it wasn't like, all right, cool, like, yeah, like, even though it kind of was, because with Matt Lloyd, that he's fucking insane, and I feel like he's a real talented musician who's going to be able to.
I need to link him, man. I spoke to him a little while ago about getting a podcast in, but he's been fucking crazy busy. Do you know what I mean? But it'd be good to get him on, because his music is really sick. Got a nice voice, man. Yeah. But it's nice that you have that kind of that kind of versatile, eclectic mix of people. Because then, if you were to make like a collaborative project, like in the future, it could be special. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think it will, and like, I want to keep expanding, like, the roster in time, and with more diverse, different sounds and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it, man. I'm really excited for it. I think, like, it's something different. You know what I mean? And if we can kind of draw all those different things together.
Yeah, man.
And, like, keep it tight knit, but not so we're in each other's pockets and shit. And keep it about the music and not about anything else. Keep it, you know what I mean, real.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good, man. I'm excited.
Nice one, man. I saw you showing love to Bucks the other day. You know, George Bucks. I think he goes by Bucks now. Yeah, he's my boy, man. He's fucking. He's. I think he's got something. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's got something as well, and that's why I was like, that fucking disgusting track, man. And I spoke to the producer as well. It's fucked, because, like, straight away I was like, all right, cool. I like fucking hit him up or whatever. I was like, yes, it's hard. But then I was like, let's do something in it. Let's work. So who's the producer? So I got the producer to send through some beats, but he was like, I'm just going through changing laptops or something. And I don't know what it was. And he had, like, a small selection, and a couple of them banged. But obviously my time is fucking short right now, so I don't really get a chance to, like, sometimes you'll catch me on the right day and I'll be sat there be like,
yeah, man.
But no, I like his shit, man. I
reckon he's a youngster as well, man. I think he's 22 or something like that, but he can spit all kinds of styles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember watching his.
Sorry, I'm trying to interrupt you. I was just gonna say that he's good with the way he markets himself as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just like he's got loads of room to grow, but he's already doing, like, a lot of the things right. You know what I mean? At that early stage, which is, like, a good, props to Bucks.
Yeah, man, 100%. I think he understands, like, the kind of the landscape and how it works as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, the singles generation, the playlist generation. Yeah, man, I really kind of respect what he's doing. But is there anyone else in the UK that you know, up and coming, or anyone you think I should keep my eye out for? Or because I'm always up for listening to new music, man. Do you know what I mean? Is there anyone you think, fuck yeah, they're definitely.
Composer, man. Do you know Composer, innit?
Yeah, Composer
from Bristol. He's fucking sick.
Do you know about Wish?
Yeah, Wish as well.
Wishmaster.
Yeah, man. He's we've already got an episode.
Oh, right, shit.
Yeah. It might have dropped now by the time this comes out. But yeah, man. We caught up, and we were talking about his appearance on, like, BBC and Like the speech and stuff he did, man, it's crazy. But he's got loads in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Relly as well, isn't it?
Relly's fucking mate. There's a lot of people from Bristol, man. To be fair, there's like a lot of people in Bristol that are fucking like doing bits at the moment. But there has been for a long time, you know what I mean? But yeah, Relly. I mean, I don't want to start shouting out people and then forget other people in it.
I hear you. But I remember listening to your episode with Wishmaster on Green Brick, and you were talking about the kind of community sense in Bristol, and like obviously this is way before lockdown. You were like, yeah, we should all like link up, go for a meal, talk about all this kind of stuff. I think that's
money together.
It's cool, man. I think that's like a really like you need someone to instigate that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You also need someone to follow through.
Yeah.
Say with that situation, like that's exactly it. But it's something that I'm really I've been trying to work on for like years. Is the all right? So we've instigated it. Cool, let's do it. And at that moment, like we should have been like, all right, just quickly whilst we're on the podcast, just get our phones, and be like, okay, it's the 12th of this month, and we're all gonna do it. And then as soon as that date's in 3 or 4 people's phone, then you're like, all right, what's happening?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the instigation of that, like, because there is a community spirit in Bristol. Do you know what I mean? It's a small, big city. It's like, it's small in a sense that, like, if you're in, say, the music scene, you probably know someone from the music scene who might not even be in your genre because from so and so. You know what I mean? So someone in a rock band who knows your mate who did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a small, big city. So there is that community, but there's still almost that like lacking of like, right, we're gonna do it right now. Do you know what I mean? That, to be fair, like whoever set up the there's like an Instagram group.
Oh yeah, the hub
chat, the hub.
Yeah, that was Jinx, isn't it?
Jinxter, yeah. Mate, Jinxter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like dudes like Jinxter who's been fucking doing shit for years and years in Briss. Do you know what I mean? They're still doing it and still putting out hard shit. Like Jinxter and Twizzy, you should get on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm on their new album as well, actually. Coming out next day.
Yeah, you should get them on the podcast. Like,
man.
They've been doing bits in Bristol for years, man. But yeah, admittedly, I'd like to be that guy. I wish I'd done it that day on the podcast, and I was like, right, fuck it, we're doing it now. Let's make it happen. But it's hard, especially when it's so many different people. Bro, are you wearing the fucking Lahane?
You know this, man.
Jusqu'ici tout va bien. I've got that leads me on to some shit. I've got a track, shouts to my boy Charlie Cut, Montpellier. So I've got this connection with Montpellier through Two Tongues.
I was gonna ask you this, man.
Yeah, so I've had this connection for years now, and I've like, even since Two Tongues has moved to the UK and then moved back to France, but somewhere else, like I've kept these connections within Montpellier, and like my boy La Craps and M2C and DJ Rolex and fucking all these other guys from France, basically, who I've been going and playing with and making songs with for years. Like they've made me comfortable as fuck there. You know what I'm saying? I can go there and hang out in Montpellier now and go and chill and make music. You know what I mean? They can come here. And one of these guys is called Charlie Cut, and he was like a promoter.
Yeah.
He helped put on shows for me and Two Tongues or whatever. Tongues knew him. And he basically, like, we struck up a good friendship or whatever, and I ended up going and playing the show, and Tongues was supposed to come but couldn't make it. And me and him just were like, fuck it. If Tongues ain't here, let's just make a project. Because we were going to make like an EP or something, but like I was there for 2 days, like a weekend, and we just sat. And this is like midsummer last year. They're like baking hot sunshine in Montpellier. Yeah. He's got a fucking swimming pool in his backyard, like,
oh man,
super chill. And I'm just sat. But I was sat in the basement, in his fucking music studio in the dark, just writing and then recording and then writing and recording. And we wrote and recorded like 6 tracks. And one of the tracks, because I've always been a massive fan of Lahane, like the whole Jusqu'ici tout va bien, like it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Like, so far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah, he falls off the building.
Yeah.
What a film, man.
That's actually like part of the hook for one of the tracks in it. Like,
yeah,
I got mad. Fucking, I went off on a tangent. Then apologies.
No, not at all, man. I love that shit.
Film.
It is, man. It's one that's just always kind of sticks with you because I'm not just besides music, not just hip hop, but music generally. I'm a massive film fan. I'm a movie guy. Do you know what I mean? And films like Lahane and like City of God and all those Amoros Peros, I think it's called. Have you seen that one as well? Yeah, all of those types of films like from like world cinema. I just remember kind of just setting pace at the time and thinking like the way it kind of conveys certain things, and especially Lahane, it's such a simple story. It's just like a fucking hangout story, isn't it? It's just about
like
guys hang. Yeah. Obviously, after like the riot, and there's like the stakes are that their friend's gonna die and all that stuff, and they're gonna kill a cop. But it is just essentially a hangout movie, just like guys shooting the shit. But all throughout it, the tension is just like you just feel it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know one of the reasons for that is because a lot of the actors in it were just street dudes and were just people off the block, and like the scenarios were pretty much
how it would be.
Yeah, they're just filming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't really like there's obviously, you know what I mean, it's scripted, it's all, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy, man. It like definitely captures like a moment in time so
100%.
well.
And
it's like everything about it, the soundtrack, the fact that it's black and white, like the whole thing, like
kind of like the racial tensions as well.
Like,
I love the bit where what's his name? Is it Saeed? And
Vince.
He just looks in the mirror and he's just like, Canado, Senor Canado. It's just like, what the fuck?
I've done that for years, man. And the whole story in the toilets as well, where like the guy comes out of the toilet, Grunwald, who's running after the train and shit, and he
froze to death, didn't he?
It's like, oh, he died. It's just like, bruh, what was that?
It's just everything, all the subtle things in that film are just executed so well. You know, like the kind of the class divides, like when they go into the city to see like, is his name like Asterix or something? You know, the drug. That whole kind of that whole sequence is just like says so much without saying much. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
And the art exhibition and shit where they go in. When I seen that, and I was like, I can just remember times when we'd go into places as a crew, and exactly that shit had happened, and it would just turn into exactly the same thing, like.
So Vincent Cassel's his brother's in I think I mentioned this to you on the last podcast. His brother's in like a real famous rap crew from France called Assassin. He's called like Rockin' Squat, and yeah, they've done tracks with like Immortal Technique and loads of shit, man. They're pretty big in France, but it's just he's got that tie to hip hop as well, you know.
Yeah. Well, he's like a real dude, isn't it? I think he was just one of the. I don't know whether he was one of the people, whether like Lahane was his first acting role.
I think it might have been his first one.
Yeah.
So when is the like project that you recorded in Montpellier going to see the light of day, man? Because that sounds heavy.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Like the thing with that as well with Charlie is he's like his dad, rest in peace, but his dad was like a real big musician in Montpellier, and he's connected with fucking like I can't remember the dude's name, but we were partying at his house for like 2 days. This guy, and he was the drummer for David Bowie.
Shit.
But yeah, he's this old English dude who lives out in Montpellier, and like so, Charlie's connections to the music scene since he was a fucking kid have always run real deep.
Yeah.
So that where he's living, because he moved back in with his mum after his dad passed and stuff. So the downstairs of their house was already a music studio, and like a proper like you record a whole band in there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy, and he's just kitted the whole thing out. Excuse me. And like we did like a live set with a drummer and a bassist and stuff, and he like some of the guys we were working with like real big time French artists who are just playing bass or something, you know what I mean? And he's just connected to it. Like even the shows I played there, I played a show and it was like outdoors on like a farm. Like this is the show that Two Tongues was supposed to come and play at and didn't. We ended up making the whole project. And there was like kids like this high, yeah? And then fucking 80-year-old women, and like everyone, the mix of people was fucking insane, like absolutely insane, and everyone was having a good time.
Yeah.
Even my dentures fell out, yeah. So I'm performing, yeah, and my fucking teeth just like the whole sound check, the sound guy as well, yeah, it's incredible. I'm talking, we're outside on a farm in like this beautiful little like countryside idyllic place, yeah, with this sound system that just fucking bangs, like perfect sound all the way through mic check or whatever.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah. See, because it was so quiet, I didn't need to shout, so my teeth ain't gonna fall out. Halfway through the set, I'm like, ah! They fucking fell out my mouth. I was like, ah. Like the crowd just like paused. Do you know what I mean? Everything just paused. Like the music carried on playing. Obviously, you didn't know, but it just went dunk, bounced off the front of the stage and landed in the crowd.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, didn't know whether to be like, is it part of the act? Or like,
yeah,
everyone
it's
just,
like a fucking American film, isn't it?
Yeah, they
goes quiet.
They were just like Charlie was still playing. I was like, hold the beat. Yeah. I was like, wait. Jumped down, like picked up my teeth. Yeah, I was like, put them like on the front, just where the two decks are, or whatever. And I was like, everyone make noise for my teeth. Everyone was just like, what? He doesn't care. Like, fuck it. It just, yeah, man. It's mad.
Oh, well played, sir. Fair play, man.
Yeah, it's gonna come out on Split Profits. Back to the original, like it's gonna come out on Split Profits rather than Green Brick. Just because, obviously, that's my family. Do you know what I mean? And I help build what's there, and I still want to keep a foot in the door. And it's like a real boom bap flavored, like little EP. So yeah, so that's gonna. I'm not sure when it's gonna come out because I'm still waiting on. I'm waiting on Mongo. Shouts to Mongo. One of my favourite fucking rappers, man.
Did you hear his that track he released like last week, where he's like does a bit of singing on it and that? Nah, it's fucking crazy, mate.
His singing is he's fucking sick, bro. Yeah, bro.
Honestly, man, go on his Instagram.
Mate, honestly, I've not seen it, man. Mate, Mongo's killing it, bro. I'm telling you now, like the new shit where he's singing. Obviously, Mongo, for me, he's always killed it.
Yeah. But I didn't know about
the way he switched it. Yeah, he's like singing, but like gruffed up. Mate, that was like the worst. Yeah. Doesn't sound like that. It sounds good. I promise.
So you're just waiting on a feature from him then?
Waiting on a feature. Waiting on this guy did some saxophone on a track as well, like a famous French saxophonist, and a bass player as well. And we're just waiting for Charlie. Charlie's got a lot of shit on. He's an incredible scratch DJ, like real fucking like intricate, like nuts, crazy scratch DJ.
He sat right there, man. Come on.
This is his English counterpart. Like, you two need to meet. They're gonna meet though. This is the beauty.
I got another friend, Jay. He's the sickest rapper, bro. Like.
It's alright, man.
I'm joking.
Speaking of live sets and that, man, I know, like, I'm guessing as like a rapper, that's something you both are missing in a lot of ways. But lockdown has kind of presented opportunities to do kind of like live streams, and a lot of people being quite creative with their output. Do you know what I mean? I know you guys did one recently, and saw one with like Wishmaster and Bailey's and that as well. And I watched the Kingpin and Bad Bones head to head the other night as well. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. So are you kind of have you got any more things like that in the pipeline?
I mean, like as far as Green Brick goes, we haven't really we want to get back on that kind of shit with the podcast as well. But with Green Brick, it's like because everyone's so far away. Like Matt Lloyd doesn't live in Bristol; he lives like about an hour's drive away. Obviously, us two live pretty close together, so we can kind of get things rolling. But I don't know. The live stream. Actually, I don't even know why I'm talking about distance, man. We drove to Bidford to do one. It's not like it's not distance. It's about having something that's a bit different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because like it's all good spitting in a room or doing something like that. But I feel personally, anyway, I don't know it's not the thoughts of the label or anything, but it's just my personal thoughts. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least like really do it special. Do you know what I mean? Like, either do a set where you've got people like halfway through, you're gonna do like call in or message in and say a word to freestyle about us. Do you know what I mean? Something where it's a bit different, because
interactive. And,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really watch that many of those. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I just don't really watch that many, unless it's something where it's a bit more, like, it's a bit special. There's
it's the same with
any.
It's the same with any media, though. Really, that you consume. If you think about like podcasting as an example, like if you're scrolling through Shotgun New York's podcast, I mean, and you'll stop at a fucking artist that you know or respect, and you'll listen to that episode, and you'll scroll through everyone else. Do you know what I mean? That's just how it goes. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Sorry.
No, man.
Do you reckon that like maybe we're like behind the curve and we need to be doing, as well as the like long ones, but we need to be doing like these crazy short snippets? You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think about it and I'm like, you're not losing anything by doing it, right? Like, you don't lose anything by making these like little real short snippets that it's more work. But I feel like
it could be
with the TikTok generation and shit,
like
there's a certain way we almost have to play to it, because otherwise it will be just like people who didn't adapt with the way things changed before and they get left behind.
Yeah, man.
And if you don't adapt, I don't know. I feel like there's ways that we could fucking evolve as well. You know?
100%, man. But I think that's kind of. I mean, we had a lot of kind of ideas for it and stuff, and I think it depends as well who you're talking to, because there's always going to be people tuning in to listen to a 2-hour conversation with someone they want to listen to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all depends. My podcast is kind of it's still, I wouldn't say niche, because a lot of people are doing it and a lot of people listen to podcasts, but it's not as easy to digest, and it's more of a commitment than, say, like listening to an album or a track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just got to play about with it and see what happens. That's all I can say, really, man. Right, we're still growing. We haven't been going that long. Yeah, man, just see whatever lands.
No, 100%. I was just thinking, like, then, like, my brain went off on a tangent. I was like, bro, like, if people are watching little clips, then they'll see all the artists.
Yeah.
Because it will be like, it will lead on to the next one. And because their attention span's so short, they're not going to suddenly change and start looking for a next one. They'll get to see all of it. That's where my brain went with that. But 100%, like, it's...
You did that out of context, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that. We get to see everyone who's on there. Do
you know what I mean? But podcasts are a podcast, and I think you're right. It's something that's harder to digest, that is becoming, whether it's I don't know what it is. Did young people listen to podcasts?
I think they do, but again,
more so nowadays. Yeah.
I
lot
think
of people listen to them.
I think so, like, man. I think people commuting and not so much anymore. But
early teens. Do you reckon early teens listen to podcasts?
I think doubtful.
But I think your attention span ain't long enough when you're like 50.
No, but I think if you're 15 and you're into an artist, and then they've done a 2-hour interview, same as I was, I would listen to the fucking interview, innit?
Yeah, I know, man. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's
a
tough one, man. You just got to kind of like see what sticks, I guess. But on that note, lads, before we wrap up, is there anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to plug, or anything you want to talk about, man?
I don't know when this comes out, so when's this going to drop?
It will come out, man. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I need to figure out myself. That's why I'm slow. So I need to I need to think about it, man.
For the people that probably, because this will come out afterwards. So to the people that cop stuff in the Bandcamp in May, June, July, and like help support the Stephen Lawrence Trust. Like, we gave all the profits to the trust, basically.
Every sale for Bandcamp, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone who like chucked in fucking £20 and stuff like that, thanks you, because like it's real nice. You know what I mean? It's a touch. Like, we can all do something.
Is that still going, man? Because we can include the link
till the end of July.
It's going to the end of exactly.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's why I asked. Yeah. But now, just thanks to everyone who's like supporting the shit.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, obviously, for having us on.
Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit coming. Look out for mine and Matt Lloyd's EP coming real soon, because we just got the last video back for it. It's all done. There's a little bit of touching up here and there. But that's coming soon, and that's a completely different flavor to anything I've ever done. Like nothing. Like I'm singing on it and shit. It's not like no cruddy shit. It's my fucking. I'm not saying that's the route I'm going down. I make everything, but
just do what makes you happy, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Just put it to the world. But where can people find you on socials, gents?
Instagram, DJ Roguezilla, DJ Rogue on Facebook, DJ Rogue on SoundCloud as well, and DJ Rogue on everything else, isn't it? I think. Yeah, Spotify.
No
DJ
underscores,
Rogue.
And it's just straight DJ Rogue.
Yeah, DJ Rogue on most things. Yeah, except for Instagram, it's Roguezilla.
And yeah, check out the Green Brick Records website, greenbrickrecords.com.
That's got links to everything as well.
Check out my Instagram, res_wanna. Same for Twitter. Same for, I don't have Facebook anymore. Fuck that. But check out Joe Byrne. Check out Mac Lloyd. Check out Crossbow T. Check out, obviously, you know Bad Habits if you're listening to this and you're into UK hip hop. But yeah, I mean, he's got a beat tape coming on Green Brick Records soon. Also, check out Fatty Lou, man. My clothing company that me and my wifey run. Mainly she runs it. But we got a load of new drops coming. Good shit.
Very good shit, man. Well, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. At Shotgun the Orcs, all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. It's been a pleasure, gents. Thanks again. Stay safe, stay sane.
Yeah, you too, bro.
Take care.
All right, take it easy,
Nice one, man.